he has stated at the time that Britain would not abandon Montserrat, and that if even one person were to remain on Montserrat, that Britain would have been committed to Montserrat. I will hold him and the British government to that promise.
Any question?
I'm Donaldson Romeo, independent journalist and representing The Guardian today. Mr. Brandt, have you just signed an agreement where Mrs. Robinson, who is blind, who is still waiting for consultation, who lost her husband, lost her house, lived in shelters for 15 months, considered criminal and inhumane, have you just signed an agreement for her to go to England without a penny in her pocket?
No, I have not signed such an agreement. In fact, I made representations on behalf of the people of Montserrat. Yesterday, I met her. I met her daughter. I was in the shelter with her. I touched her and I spoke, and she recognized my name. Mm-hmm. We come from the same district. Mm-hmm. And I made representations on her behalf. I told Mr. Fox that this lady has lost her home, her personal effects, her animals, and that she has, if she has a little sum of money in the bank, it is for a time like this. And a time like this has come, and if she's not able to get it, then it would be unbearable for her in a situation because she cannot work.
What will she get?
And at the highest level, this matter is being considered at this time. A man from the Bank of England was brought in by the government of Montserrat, and he has made his recommendation. And very soon, I hope when Mr. Fox goes back to England, we will have the answer for that.
The Minister did.
Can I just say that David introduced me to Mrs. Robinson. I haven't met a more dignified, calmer, more stoic, and more reasonable person for a long time. It's for the people like Mrs. Robinson, like Joseph, the young man of 20 who I met, like Mr. Ryan, the 80-year-old man I met when I went round the temporary shelter. It's for those people that we're talking, and we've agreed the Sustainable Development Plan. We've agreed paragraph 6 in relation to the financial institutions, which will take up the case of Mrs. Robinson. Those are the people who are concerned, and I must say I was tremendously impressed, as I said earlier, by the way that they put Mr. Romeo so responsibly but firmly, so quietly and calmly, but with great commitment, their concerns. And those are the people. It's the Mrs. Robinsons, it's the Josephs, it's the Mr. Ryans of Montserrat that we're concerned about.
And I'm here from Oxford Brookes University in England, and I'm studying my PhD in disaster management or emergency management. And I've come to Montserrat specifically to understand the social economic implications of the volcanic crisis and look at psychosocial issues, particularly in the evacuation shelters, and I'm looking at levels of community participation through different hierarchical is. You've got lots and lots of skilled workers. You have 112 people living in the shelters, and all of them are skilled people, but yet there are sort of roads that need repairing, and these people want to help repair them, and that's just not happening, unfortunately, because there hasn't been the initiative from either the government or the British government or the people themselves, and the people may be to blame as well, why there's a lack of development.
Why do you say that? Could you tell me?
Well, I hear from the shelters. I mean, people complain to me quite often and tell me all about their problems and things, but yet they don't seem to club together and actually go forward to the government and put a proposal forward to actually go and do something. So, in a way, it needs to be government initiative as well. It needs to be a combination of both, and often, I guess, both of them don't talk to each other. There is a severe lack of community participation, we call it home, or popular activation, whatever you like to call it. There's absolutely no way people in Britain would stay in a shelter like that. There's no way, not in Canada, not in the US. It's because of the Montserrat culture I guess people are used to like living with each other, and I guess that's fine. During a hurricane for a few days or a week or maybe 2 weeks, but certainly not for 3 months. And something needs to be done to rehabilitate and reconstruct the country.
What about the new shelters that are being built? Is that going to be an improvement, you think?
If they're family units, then yes, but if they're not, then it's a waste of time. It's just a waste of time and money, and the environment is getting destroyed. You can't. You have to turn emergency relief into rehabilitation, reconstruction. If you don't do that, it will fail every time. And in 6 months' time, I can see there's going to be no economy left at all if decisions aren't made. There seems to be a hell of a lot of talking and not a lot of action, because you have so many difficult decisions to make. However, a decision has to be made, even if it's the wrong one. It doesn't matter as long as a decision is being made. You learn from your mistakes, but while nothing's being done, you've lost your economy. It's a disaster before a disaster.
Just rephrasing on what you said before. How should this decision be made if the people are to play a part, the government to play a part, those in opposition, and the British government? How must it all get together, do you think?
It's difficult because it has to come from the people as well. And you can involve the community in decision making. And I guess, from what I've seen or from what I've heard from the people, the Chief Minister and, the British government and various other sectors don't really communicate with the community enough. They think that they do, but in fact when you really sit down and look at how they're involved in the community, it's not done. So maybe there can be a public forum, maybe there can be sort of meetings with the community every week or so. Maybe there needs to be more involvement with the community in the planning of the country. And if that doesn't occur, as I say, it will be even more of a disaster, and you'll never be able to rehabilitate the economy or the island.